What's the plan for today?
Deadlifts. So we're going to be going up to about 320 kilos. We'll start off doing sets of 3, and then from there, hopefully, we'll hit some relatively good numbers. I'm hoping. I mean, if I can, I'll probably try and set it a little bit. You can maybe go for doubles, maybe at 300, 320. So we'll see. We'll hit the 300 mark. We'll see how we go from there. 310, 320 for a double. I'll be happy. Well, I wouldn't say it's a weird story, it's just got a bit of context to it. So a while ago I hurt my hand, started doing some strength-based stuff to try and fix it, and then my other half turned around and was like, oh, why don't you give Strongman a go? Like, you constantly watch it. I've watched it since I was a kid, I really enjoy it, didn't stop talking about it at Christmas. So ended up going to competition in Chester, it's only small, was watching it, and then they turned around and were like, oh, we're a bit short, do you want to go in it? So I was like, yeah, go on then, I'll throw my hands in, didn't think anything of it. Long story short, I won it. And then when I was leaving, I was picking up a bag that I'd won. Just to let you know, this is the qualifiers for Wales Strongest Man. So you've now got a qualifying spot. And I was like, shit. Never done it before, just basic training. So the next 6 months I ended up going to a gym called Primal that used to be in Chester. They had like Atlas stones and things like that. And I went from there and trained it, and I did reasonably well when I went to Wales. It was down in Cardiff, fitness stadium. And came 14th out of 15th with 6 months training. And that was it then, I was hooked. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted to do better every year, I wanted to progress. And then that was in 2016. So, you know, nearly 10 years later, still going at it, done 8 Wales Strongest Mans up to now. Yeah, good, really good.
What is it that you love about it?
The fact that it's different. It's not like your regular sport. It's not like powerlifting or bodybuilding where you have your expectations and you know what you're going for. You know, bodybuilding, you know what physique you're going to go for. You know how to train throughout the years. Powerlifting, it's all the same lifts. It's everything like that. Where Strongman, it's different. It's not the same. It's a mixture of different events, and it could be a different event from the year after, or it could be the same event but with different objects, different styles of lifting. You know, you could do a log for reps, and then the year you could do max log on a wooden log or a metal log, and same for the medleys. You could do a medley one year and it could be lifting kegs. You can do a medley the next year and it'll be a mix between farmers and sandbag carry. And that's the bit that I like. It's never the same. You don't really get bored in the sport. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be a bit tedious, repeating everything over and over again, but in the end of the day, that's how you get better. Yeah, I might go up to 170 now rather than doing 120, just to try and speed it up a little bit. Because there's no point in me wasting me energy going from doing smaller increments. So I'll probably do now, probably go 170, 220, 270, and maybe go for like a 310, and maybe a 320. If 270 flies, I'll go for a 320. It's just, I hate doing smaller increments because I end up wasting more time loading the bar, loading the plates on bit by bit. But I'd rather just jump straight into it and go, right, this is what I need to do. I'm warmed up anyway. You know, I feel good, my joints feel good. I'm confident I'm not going to hurt myself in like that sort of way. So now I can just jump straight in, start loading the plates on. That'll give me extra time later so I can do some like lat pull downs. Some good heavy rows, because I find that works, especially for lat engagement. And then it'll give me some extra time then to do arms and some tricep work. So, but yeah, I'll load this up now, get it up to 170, I'll go from there, I think. Like in your face, Same for like, we'll get the people in the crowds, they'll be screaming stuff at you, they'll boo you, they'll shout that you're shit, because obviously everyone's got their favourite athlete. It's the same in any sport. You know, you'll always have your favourites. It's like, in the World's Strongest Man, you've always got like, you've got Gab Bilton, Matt Diamond, Jamie, you know, you've got quite a few that are people's favourites. So when you go out, you won't get as loud as cheers, and you will get boos and stuff, but you kind of just put it behind you and you just kind of get on with it. So, but yeah, in terms of like videoing and people like taking pictures of you, just kind of put it behind you and you get used to it after a while. I have to put this on now because I'm a skinny fucker. I've lost that much weight, that belt digs into my waist now, so I have to put like an extra padded support on. Which it's fine, it helps with the bracing.
What's like the difference in weight between, you know, like, how much do you expect to get from it?
So, heavier you are, the better with static lifts because you're more planted. As a lot of people will always say, mass moves mass, which theoretically it does, but I was 23 stone 8, my stomach was out here, and okay, I could clean the log better, I could press heavier, I could probably squat heavier, but then when it came to moving events, I was struggling a lot more, so like I couldn't breathe, I was picking up the farmers, and I couldn't get a good brace to like, and then to push myself. Same with deadlifts. I was fine doing 1 rep maxes, but then when I went to go and do more rep work, I was blowing out before I could even like get to 2 or 3. So now I've cut down to 20 stone 9, and strength's still up there. You know, I'm still pushing, I would say, reasonable numbers for my body weight. So hopefully now I'm going to keep to this weight, and I can just improve more and more onto it, and hopefully I can get stronger and stay not leaner, just more athletic sort of thing, like my cardio can stay up and my ability to breathe while doing the reps rather than putting it down, standing up, taking 1 big breath and going back down into it again, because that was a pain in the ass, because obviously in our strongman competitions we only get 60 to 70 seconds in terms of like how long that one event is. So I don't want to spend 10-20 seconds unwrapping to stand up to breathe to then get back in it again and waste all that time when I could literally just breathe better and not be as fat. Good, moved really well. We'll go up now, put another 25 aside on, pull that for 3. And then as long as that moves well, we'll do 270 for 1. 270 is like my guidance point. So if 270 moves really slow, I tend to stick to like more the lower end of 300. So it'll be like, probably usually work to 300. But if 270 flies up and down and breaking it off the floor quick enough, I usually tend to go to like 310, 320, 330 in that range. Especially if I got my suit on. If I got my suit on, then 300 is just like halfway point, which is nice. So, but yeah, we'll head up now and we'll keep going.
How often do you deadlift?
In terms of, see, it depends what sort of ratio. So, if I do a heavy session, I tend to wait about 12 days in between, just so the nervous system gets a bit of a break and stuff. And then I'll do like a light squat between it all. If I'm doing more of a lighter session, say like more rep work at like 270, 280, I'll try and get 2 sessions in a week. just to try and keep my body up to it. And then I'll try and do a heavy squat in between. But in actual terms of training, I don't even train that much. I should train more, but obviously family commitments and stuff, it's easy to just let that run away as things take priority over it. But training for me, I try to train 3 to 4 times a week. It's mainly 3, but sometimes I can get squeezed a 4th in if I've got time off, or bank holidays or the kids are off, I can always get a little bit more extra time in. But generally though, 3 days a week, but I find that's enough for my body because I train that heavy and I do that much of a good session. You know, where a lot of people say they train like, they say, oh, I've been in the gym for 3 hours, and they haven't. They've trained for half an hour, they've been on the phone for an hour, and then they've took a shit for like 20 minutes, and then they've eaten for 20 minutes. For me, it's when I'm in the gym, I will train. Okay, don't get me wrong, I still have conversations with people. I still say hi to people that, you know, acknowledge me and stuff. It's, but when I want to do my deadlifts, I'll do a solid half an hour on deadlifts. And then I'll go into lat pull down, do a solid about 10 minutes on lat pull down. Then I'll go into another exercise. So I'll make sure I'm definitely working out. So when I do a 2-hour session, maybe only 20 minutes of that is actually like not doing much. The rest of it is just solid hard work. So. It's all right, huh? Deadlifts in increments of 20. So I've always had cast iron plates on at 20 plates. So you just keep adding the 20 plate. And so you know, like when you hit 7 plates, 300 kilos. When it's 25s, your weights are always up and down. So like, I think it's like 5 plates of 25s. I've got to add 15s on and stuff. Just, I was never really used to it, and it throws me off now and again. And it's like, it's bigger jumps as well. So where you used to be able to take smaller increment jumps, your body gets used to it. Now it's like you do bigger jumps, which, don't get me wrong, saves you time and it saves you a bit of effort and energy. But I prefer the plates, which when we're at the new gym and we've got all the Strongman kit there and stuff like that, we'll be back to the old cast iron plates so we can do smaller jumps, we can take our time doing it, and you know, when we hit a 300, we hit a 300. We started like 10s on and things. But 25s, you know, you jump from, instead of jumping from 100 to 140, you basically jump to 120 to 170. So you're losing out on the kilos. Now I'm 34, I'm finding that it's not getting away with much. So in terms of like protein and stuff like that, best way I can put it is, when you're younger and you go out on the piss, you don't have as bad as hangover. When you get older, the hangover gets worse. Same for like when you're older and you're training. When you're younger, you can get away with doing heavy all the time. Your body repairs quick enough. When now, my body doesn't heal as quick enough. It doesn't. So peptides will come into it. Sources of decent protein will come into it because you're working loads, you end up snacking and stuff like that. But when you're younger, you've got time to prep your food, to eat your food. You know, you don't work as many hours, but then when you've got a mortgage, you need to pay that mortgage, you've got to pay that bills, and that involves many hours of work. So now I find I don't have that free time anymore, and I don't have that source of, you know, mum and dad, or not my problem sort of thing. I need to source out a bit more. I need to look after myself a bit more.
What's that like mentally?
Straining, very straining. It's always at the back of your mind because you know what you should be taking, you know what you should be doing, and sometimes it's impossible. You know, I'd love to finish work and go to a recovery centre, spend hundreds of pounds in there, go sit down, have a prep kitchen, make my meals so my macros are on point, take my 50, 60 quid tub of protein every week. It's not as realistic when you're older. And I think people forget that you know, as a kid, the benefits of training, you see all the young influencers, stuff like that, most of them live at home, most of them only work part-time, most of them have mummy and daddy to cover a lot of stuff for them. They have no problem with finances and stuff. They go out on the piss and stuff like that. They can train heavy and recover. But when you get to my age and stuff like that, it's just not the same, unfortunately. So, depending on how this pulls will depend on what happens next. So obviously you can see I'm putting on talc now. This will just help the bar slide up my leg a bit better. Obviously we all have natural oils in our skin and sweat and things that'll make your skin a little bit sticky. So it's just an easy way to get rid of it. We used to use baby oil back in the day, but obviously baby oil goes on the bar and it ends up getting messy, and then you end up having to get cloths to take it all off and things, and it just got awkward in the end. One lad weirdly used lube one year. Yeah, it was weird. But don't get me wrong, it worked, but it's just a bit awkward whacking out a bit of Durex lube mid-session. We thought something was going on, like. But yeah, no, we found talcum powder, it really works well. It doesn't really make much mess. It's easy to clean up, so yeah, it's good. Sometimes I always do think, why do we do this? But it's fun. Doing 5% of what most people can't do. That's good. That's just.
What's your proudest moment of competition?
Proudest moment in the competition?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Jesus Christ. 2016, I'd never lifted a 160 Atlas stone, and it was world's strongest man, and I lifted it, and it was the most awkwardest fucking shaped platform. It was these metal rings on like stands, and the edging was like thick, so when we put the ball onto it, it would like catch and it would hold the ball. And I got cramp in my leg, dropped it the first time, and the crowd just roared, and it was like an adrenaline rush going straight through. So literally I just went for it again, lapped it, just lapping it was a PB at that point. Put my arms over it, lifted it up, and as I got it onto the ledge, it stuck, and it felt like an eternity, me just fighting this fucking ball. It was rolling side to side and stuff. And somehow I just cut my elbow underneath it and pushed it on top, and it went in. And yeah, it was probably the best moment of my life. And then gym-wise, probably when I pulled my first 300, been chasing it for 2 years. 280 was going, 290 was going, but could I break 300? It wound me up. It got me to the point where I was just going to give up altogether, because in my eyes, 300 is like my goal. You know, everyone when they're younger wants to bench 100 kilos. It was like, it's the in thing, bench 100 kilos, you bet, great. For me, it was like deadlift 300. I've got to deadlift 300. So once I'd done that, I was ill. I went to the gym. There was only me and my mate, Shane, in the gym. I was ill as fuck. My nose was blocked and stuff. Chucking all the weights on. Pulled 260, slow as anything. And then my mate loaded the bar, and without telling me, I pulled 300. And it was an absolute grind, like, and I was shouting and stuff. And when I put it down, he was like, oh, by the way, that was 300. We weighed it all up, and it was 300. So that was the turning point then. That's when I wanted to keep going at Strongman. So, like I said before, it's me, it's who I am. If I quit this tomorrow, and I got skinny, and I couldn't do this, it would upset me. It would ruin me, because I've built my body around this. Don't get me wrong, when I'm older and I'm frail, I know I won't be able to do it, but I know my time will be up then. It's not because out of choice, it's because it's, you know, it's nature. But, you know, you have pro golfers that are known for being golfers. You have Formula One drivers that are known for being a Formula One driver. I'm known for this. I go to the gym, I lift heavy shit, And that's what I'm known for. And if I didn't do this, I'd be lost. I wouldn't have well, I know I would have an identity. I'm still John, but I'd lose me as like a personality. And I don't think I could live with that. If it happened due to like sickness, health, injury, then fine. It is what it is. But for me, this is me. This is who I am. And I think this is going to be who I am for the next 10, 20 years. Even if I'm a bit of a cripple, you know, Ronnie Coleman, he lived it. And even though he's a frail man now, who's had so many surgeries, back surgeries, knee surgeries, elbow surgeries, heart problems, and it's still him. He's still big Ronnie Coleman. He is the, yeah, buddy, lightweight, nothing but a peanut guy. And that won't change. It never will. He'll always be known as that. So, yeah, that's why I can never quit. That's why I'll always keep going. That's what drives me to keep pushing everything every single day. So. Well, I hope it is. If it's not 320, then I'm very worried. I think it is 320 though, because 310 is usually like 5 reds and a blue. So, but yeah, we'll give this a whirl. Worst thing that'll happen is I'll fail it, which is fine. If I fail it, I fail it. It's, we'll just see. That went.
Is there a difference between like a strongman deadlift and a...
Yeah, we cheat. We cheat. Literally, like powerlifting compared to strongman, obviously they don't use straps, they can't hitch, they can't dip in the bar slightly, they can't drop it down a little bit and then re-pull it back up because obviously they fail the lift, even though it's still a good lift in everyone else's eyes. For us, we can hitch, we can sit with it on our knees, we can sit down with it if we really want to. You know, we can sit with it on our thighs, and you know, we can shimmy it up. There's loads. I've got a lot more respect for powerlifters than I do the strongman side. But then the strongman side, we lift fucking, it's heavy weight. It's generally more for rep work, when in powerlifting it's just single reps. Obviously in their training, it's for reps. Obviously they build it up same as we do. But I find theirs is more technical and in my eyes more impressive than what we do, which is still technical, but we can rag it up rather than, you know, with decent technique and certain grip work and things. But for us, it's just raw power. If it looks horrible, it looks horrible. It's, as long as that weight goes from A to B, we don't care how it goes. I don't care anyway. As long as it moves and as long as it gets to the top, I'm happy. So to see someone watch me deadlift and then go over to it and start deadlifting, it's a really nice feeling. I might not have had an impact on it, but if he's doing that because I've done it, that's a massive win. I'm well happy. It's all that matters. It's because my peak of my arm's quite long, so I have a long peak rather than a little short one. So even though I've got biggish arms, I think my arm's like 18.5 inch, 19 inch. Bicep curls don't really do much for me in terms of exercise. You know, I don't care if they don't look big and they don't look on peak. To me, I'd rather just have big arms, so it'll aid me in my lifts I do. Maybe when I'm a bit older and like looks are more, you know, if I'm looking older, I'll probably do a little bit more of that sort of style. I'll probably do more preacher curls, more, you know, use the cable curls and get more of a contraction on the top of my head. But for me, hammer curls, build up mass, build up thickness. Just
everything you do is to aid the lifting.
Yeah, if it doesn't aid me in lifting, I tend not to do it. Some things I can't do in this gym, it's like the leg press is dead small. If it was down to me, I'd be leg pressing right now because it goes well with your deadlift, because the power off the floor is generally through leg drives until you get to the hinge point on your lift. So you've got your legs and your back. As soon as you get past that point, then it's your back. But the bottom part is your legs. So I have to compensate that with doing like heavier deadlifts, heavier squats, sorry. And then if I could fit in the leg press, I'd be doing that right now, but I can't. So it's one of those things, the leg press is tiny.
Have you ever had a bad gym experience?
Yeah. Pissed myself, I've shit myself, I've had massive nosebleeds, I've had head bleeds, broken the odd item, so I've broke my sternum, that was horrendous, worst pain in my life. Tore me both my labrums in my arms, both from dumbbell press, well, one from dumbbell press and one from press and a big massive 180 kilo log with one arm. That fucking ended terrible. But I've had some couple of bad experiences. Everyone at some point fucking throws up or faints, but yeah, definitely pissing myself is that embarrassing. But it's just one of those things, you put yourself under that much strain and pressure, it happens. Like there's videos everywhere of fucking women pissing themselves because obviously the pelvic floor muscles and stuff, to blokes pissing themselves, to people projectile vomiting. So if you haven't done one of them at one point, you're probably not training hard enough. But yeah. But, on the next one. Just force
the mental thing of failure.
Yeah, it's just force a habit. Like, so say if I was meant to do 10 reps and I end up doing 8 reps, I'll put it down, wait for like 30 seconds, and I'll just do 2 reps extra. And that's because I can't leave it at that. And I'll keep going at it until I finish the full set. But I see too many people, they'll fail it. They'll do like, instead of doing 10 reps, they'll do 6. And they'll just put it down and walk off. I'm like, no, get back on it and finish what you were meant to do. Even if you've got to drop the weight slightly and you've got to go to like, say if you were doing 20, you went down to 17.5 just to get 2 extra reps, do it. Fucking, it all makes the difference. You know, if you're running 100 meters, you're not going to run 99.9 meters and stop right before the finish line. You'll make sure to fucking just take that one extra step. I think that's important for people these days. It's too easy to give up, thinking that you've done enough, when true fact you haven't, you've still got that little bit extra to go. Foam roll, get me massage gun out, get my lovely kids to fucking work on my lats and me middle of my back, and then probably just sit in the bath for a good like 5 minutes with the cold water running, let my body just temporise and get used to the cold. And then, so what I'm probably going to do the rest of the day, just probably chill until later on, take the kids out trick-or-treating, because it's Halloween today, so yeah. Take them out, just enjoy a bit of time with the family. One thing I do regret when I first started, something that my partner constantly kept telling me back then, was I always prioritised the gym. Anything that came out of my mouth was the gym. Gym this, gym that, gym this. And my daughter in 2016, and I put the gym first, I put Strongman first. But at that point, I was coming like 5th, 6th, and I could feel a win at like the end of my fingertips. And to me, I should have realised back then that I was emphasising too much on the gym and too much on doing Strongman than enjoying time with my family. So I missed out a lot with my daughter and as a family as a whole. And then when my son came around, I didn't want to make that same mistake. So I cut back on the gym. So I used to train every Saturday, every Sunday. I used to train, like palm the kids off in the week when I was off work. And I found that I had a really bad knock-on effect on my relationship and on my kids. So now I've got a lot better relationship with my kids. I train around their school times. So when they're in school, I'll train. When they're off on the weekends, if they're with the grandparents, but because it's planned, then I'll train. If it's not planned, I won't force it to happen. So that's one thing I have learned, is just enjoy more time with the kids rather than just forcing to train. If it happens, it happens. I'd love to train every single day and to get better and to possibly win Wales Strongest Man one day and have a chance to go to Britain's. But I've got to understand that those sort of dreams only last for a couple of years. Your kids' lives, they're gone within seconds. And that's one thing I missed about my daughter. I missed her growing up quite a bit. So I don't do that now. I make sure that they're my main priority over this any day. So I can do this when I'm 40, I can do this when I'm 50. Okay, it might not be the best, but they'll be grown up and they'll have their own kids and their own families.
If you could change one thing about like gyms, university.
I'd probably bring the old retro style back. If I could change anything in gyms, I'd change the retro style. So like everything now is all clean, it's all plastic, it's all like different like leverage and different handle shapes and stuff. Where the older stuff, it's all set in stone, like it's one way of holding it and that's it. The cables, they weren't on pulley systems, they weren't on like different like levels. So like you'd have a massive stack of weights, and nowadays they're on that many different loop systems. It's half the stack when you're lifting it. But the old days, it was literally a cable from that around into the thing. And if you were to lift 50 kilos, it's 50 kilos. It was just better. Like the atmosphere was better. You'd walk in and all you'd hear was like plates clanging, and everywhere would be fucking filthy and dirty, and you'd go in there and you'd train and you'd get it done. When nowadays, because it's more, there's aircon, there's heating, there's clean toilets, there's changing rooms, there's showers and stuff like that. People are more comfortable and they sit around and they don't do as much, and there's no drive to get a workout done. I could sit here chilling on my phone and I could sit here for 10, 15 minutes. But when I used to train, it was cold, it was damp, it was horrible. You wouldn't want to sit down, you just want to get it done and go home. And I think that's what a lot of gyms are missing now. Everything's just too nice. I think that's why we don't get as many results as we do back in the old days. You signed up to a gym, you would get results in 6 months. Where you sign up to a gym now, a lot of people don't get results in 6 months because they're lazy. And it's not actually, it's not to say they're lazy. It's just the society that we're in is lazy. You know, it's easy to go to the fridge and grab something. It's easy just to go to the shop and get something high calorie to eat it and stuff like that. But obviously back then it was like you'd buy your prep, you'd buy that. You know, you'd go to a fridge in your gym and it would just be chicken and meat. It wouldn't be like protein bars and protein shakes. So I'd bring it back to the old days. If I could think of a thing to change something, it would be like the old days. But it's wishful thinking. Come on. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's really heavy.
The mic's done on 80%.
Huh?
The mic's on 80%.
Is it? Fucking hell. It's been a good session.
Right.
It's been a good session. Yeah. I need to do more like this.
Or what?
I need to do more like this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, sometimes I walk in and I don't feel it, or I don't feel like I'm achieved much. I can put in exactly the same amount of effort. I can do exactly the same exercise. Some days I'll just walk away and not feel like I've achieved as much. Sometimes I feel like I could have achieved more, but I've had less time. Sometimes I feel like I could achieve, I've achieved enough, when again, I could achieve more. So I think it just depends on the mood I'm in. But no, today's been good. It's hopefully smash a bit my biceps. So I've got the qualifiers for World's Strongest Man probably around about March, April time. And then World's Strongest Man itself will probably be around about September. Which is great, you know. The lads at Giants Live that work on behalf of Giants Live, they run a fantastic show. Don't get me wrong, I've had the joys of competing in Ultimate Strongest Man and Giants Live. Ultimate is great. Just it lacks the emphasis of World's Strongest Man. They do it for profit and gain, and it's all about like money and like the stability of their show. Where Giants Live, World's Strongest Man, it's about the athletes, it's about the enjoyment of it. You know, the lads are treated really well. We got a bag from the Giants Live lot, Simon and Gav and stuff, and it had like everything in it, from beef stuff, beef pharmacy, to Airwave, to loads of other stuff. You know, it was like about £100 worth of kit, and it's the respect to the athletes to say, look, you've trained all year round, you're putting on a show for us, you're putting on a show for the crowd, here's a bit for you. Where Ultimate, it's like, oh no, you've got to pay us, you're going to compete and we're going to make money off you. And that's the bit that I don't like about Ultimates. There's nothing for the athletes, there's no congratulations for the athletes. You know, we train all year round, we're putting tons of money into our diet and stuff, and just general training in like as a whole, and we feel like we don't get a lot for it. But the Giants Live lot, you know, we do something good, we're noticed, you know, we're put forward for it, and it's really nice. It's a nice feeling to have the gratitude of, thanks, you put all this effort in, here's something for you. So